You can tell this is an early CinemaSins video by looking at this.
Kids take a trip back to the 80s when handguns were allowed on planes, smoking was allowed in airports, pregnant women were advised to drink by their female bosses.
Can handle a little sip? That baby's ready to tend bar.
14-year-old teenagers were allowed to work as limo drivers, and gas was f***ing 74 cents a gallon.
I'm not adding a sin here because Jeremy doesn't add one, and I probably just don't get it. But I never understood why Jeremy refers to Argyle as a 14-year-old teenager. Sure, Argyle is quite young, but the actor was 22 at the time of filming. And he doesn't act like he's 14, and the movie never even implies he's 14.
Yeah, I have my eye on his private bathroom.
Wait, Ellis has a private bathroom, yet he decides to do coke in Holly's office?
Cocaine is one of the most addictive drugs in the world. Ellis is likely an addict that has trouble fighting his urges no matter where he is.
This asshole needs a flashbang to take out one security guard.
Well, yeah. A lot of the terrorists in this movie are overly stylish.
Seriously, Carl could have f***ed this whole thing up by doing this. What would have happened if his brother didn't get his job done in time?
All Carl did was cut the phone lines.
Argyle? Back, you there? Hello?
Tony wanted to do it in a more subtle manner, while Carl wanted to do it a lot faster. This also sets up how Carl is brawn and Tony is brain. By the way, did anybody actually know the name of Carl's brother before this moment? I had to Google it.
MBA, Harvard, 1970.
How does he know all this shit about Takagi but not know what he looks like? And if he knows what he looks like, why does he bother asking which one is Takagi?
Maybe he was only pretending not to know what he looks like for the sake of putting on a show.
Now I have a machine gun.
Sure, John, it's you against a bunch of well-funded, heavily armed bad guys. Rub it in. That should make your job easier.
John is characterized as smart but overly arrogant. He has trouble holding his tongue.
I missed you.
I guess you didn't miss my name, though, huh? Except maybe when you're signing checks. Since when did you start using Ms. Gennaro?
So while you could view this as a bad decision, it's in character and therefore not a sin. Similar to Ed turning on the fruit machine at the Winchester. But even if we ignore that, it's not even a bad move. The only reason Tony found John in the first place was because John pulled the fire alarm.
You've got a fire alarm. Call 911. Give them the guard's name, the building code number, and cancel the alarm. Then disable the system. Eddie, on what floor did the alarm go off?
So the terrorists already knew that somebody was upstairs. With that in mind, if John didn't send Tony's body downstairs, with or without the message, the terrorists still would have eventually sent someone upstairs to investigate, since Tony can't report or come back down when he's dead. They would then find Tony's body, realize that the person trying to meddle with their plans is still up here, and the movie would carry on the same.
The police have themselves an RV.
This RV takes so long to drive to the tower that the bad guys can wheel a rocket launcher in place, even fumble with it a bit, assemble it, and then fire it before they get there.
Most of what you said was right, except for the last part. The rocket launcher wasn't fired before the RV got there. It was fired when the RV got there.
Didn't you already break the glass before?
This is something that bothers me more than anyone else, but I don't like it when CinemaSins or other channels include one frame of the previous shot when it has nothing to do with what they're talking about. Though to be fair, a lot of beginners do this. I've done that myself way back in 2020. Wait, that was 2 years ago?
Oh, God.
Roy, you alright?
Just trying to fire down a 1,000-year-old Twinkie.
Why would McClane bother to give the play-by-play of his Twinkie meal over the radio?
He wanted someone to talk to that wasn't a terrorist. There wasn't any harm in doing so.
Did John give Hans a gun with bullets in it? Of course he didn't. He's John McClane. So, now that he's got confirmation that this is Hans Gruber, why doesn't he blow him away right now?
He wanted to get information out of him.
Put down the gun. And give me my detonators.
Well. Hans.
Put it down now.
It's pretty tricky with that accent. You gotta be on fucking TV with that accent. But what do you want with the detonators, Hans? I already used all the explosives. Or did I?
The circuits that cannot be cut are cut automatically in response to a terrorist incident.
Wait a minute, this whole plan relied on the FBI cutting the power? And they had no backup plan in case they didn't? And everyone who signed on to do this job with Hans was okay with that?
No, the original plan was simply getting the combination out of Takagi.
But I need the code key because I am interested in the $640 million in negotiable bearer bonds that you have locked in your vault. And the computer controls the vault. The code, please.
It's useless to you. There are 7 safeguards on our vault, and the code key is only one of them. You'll never get it open.
Then there's no reason not to tell it to us.
I told you.
Give me the code. 1, 2, 3.
I don't know it. I'm telling you. Get on the jet to Tokyo and ask the chairman. I'm telling you, you're just gonna have to kill me.
Okay. We do it the hard way.
So the FBI cutting the power is the backup plan. It's obviously the worst plan, which is why it's plan B instead of plan A.
When did Carl go from, I'm gonna fill this guy with a hail of bullets as soon as possible because he killed my brother, to, but first I need to tell him how personal this is before I kill him?
Carl has a gun directly to John's cheek. There is nothing in his way right now, so he figured he should relish this moment.
So this ambulance was supposedly gonna fit 13 terrorists and $640 million in bearer bonds, and they were what? Gonna smash through the security gates after they blew up the roof? Remember, Theo destroyed the computer that controlled the security gates. They were either gonna have to smash through them or wait for someone to cut through them. And they didn't think anyone would notice the ambulance that somehow got there before the gates were closed?
Hans and his crew were likely going to smash through the gates during the explosion. That way people would be too distracted to see them, and they would be assumed dead.
When they touch down, we'll blow the roof. They'll spend a month sifting through the rubble, and by the time they figure out what went wrong, we'll be sitting on a beach, earning 20%.
Why'd you have to nuke the whole building, Hans?
Well, when you steal $600, you can't just disappear. When you steal $600 million, they will find you unless they think you're already dead.